Outside the Stadium of Light, there stands a statue of a man named Bob Stokoe. Whilst it is a familiar sight to many, few will know that behind this statue is the story of a man who was loved by both Newcastle and Sunderland fans, humiliated Brian Clough, and thwarted Don Revie's Leeds in one of the biggest shocks in English football history. This is the story of Bob Stokoe, Sunderland's miracle worker. Bob Stokoe was born in Northumberland on the 21st of September 1930. He would sign for Newcastle as an apprentice in 1947. He made his debut on Christmas Day 1950 as a centre-half, and delivered the ideal Christmas present with a goal. Despite this, he would spend a great deal of the next few seasons in the reserves, only becoming the club's new first-choice centre-half in 1954. He tasted major glory for the first time the next year, as Newcastle defeated Manchester City 3-1 in the FA Cup final to win the trophy for the third time that decade. He would play for Newcastle until 1960, amassing a total of 261 games and 4 goals for the Magpies. He would then join Bury, where he observed an incident that led to one of the game's greatest ever managerial careers. Bury played against Sunderland on Boxing Day 1962. Sunderland striker Brian Clough ran through on goal before colliding with Bury keeper Chris Harker. Clough rolled around in agony, having torn the medial and cruciate ligaments in his knee, an injury that would ultimately end his playing career. According to Clough, Stokoe said to him, "Get up, you bastard, there's naught the matter with you." Stokoe played for Bury until 1964, having assumed the role of player-manager in 1961. At the time, this made him the youngest manager in the Football League, aged just 31. After retiring as a player, he stayed at Bury for one more season, before taking the job at Charlton Athletic. This was followed by spells in charge of Rochdale, Carlisle United and Blackpool. In November 1972, he was appointed as manager of second division side Sunderland. Over the next few years, he would make history at Roker Park. At the time, Sunderland were fourth from bottom, but Stokoe turned their fortunes around, as they only lost 5 more games in the league for the rest of the season, and he also masterminded a grand day out for the club. Sunderland had defied the odds to reach the FA Cup final, having defeated the previous season's finalists Arsenal in the semi-finals. Stokoe had worked a miracle to get them to Wembley, but many felt the actual trophy would be a step too far. Sunderland were up against Don Revie's Leeds. They were one of the best sides in the world, having won the FA Cup the previous season, and boasted a side full of internationals. The odds were stacked against the Black Cats. Brian Clough and Bobby Charlton were doing pre-match punditry for the game, and when asked what he thought the outcome would be, Clough said it was impossible to be anything but certain that Leeds would win. However, Charlton took a different view, believing that Sunderland would defy the odds. Stokoe had set up his side to be fearless and unintimidated by Revie's side. They were physical, determined and defiant. Leeds started to feel anxious, failing to convert their chances, and around half an hour in, they were punished. A Sunderland corner was swung in by Billy Hughes. A loose ball fell to Ian Porterfield, who fired the ball into the net. Sunderland had a shock lead. The score remained 1-0 going into half-time. Sunderland were 45 minutes from history, but many felt Revie may have an ace up his sleeve. The teams emerged for the second half. Leeds had chances, but Sunderland goalkeeper Jimmy Montgomery was in fine form, and midway through the second half, he performed a miracle. Paul Reaney looped a ball into the box, which was perfectly weighted for Trevor Cherry. Cherry headed it towards goal, but Montgomery pounced brilliantly to push it away. The ball fell to Peter Lorimer, who fired it back towards goal. Montgomery somehow leapt to the ball and brushed it onto the bar before it was cleared away. The save was so unlikely that both Barry Davis on ITV and David Coleman on the BBC commentated that a goal had been scored before realising what the Sunderland goalkeeper had done. It is regarded by many as the greatest save ever made, and it made people start to think that it just might be Sunderland's day. Both teams had chances that they didn't convert, and soon the final whistle was blown. Second Division Sunderland had defeated the mighty Leeds to claim their first FA Cup since 1937, and it was no fluke. They had been resilient against Leeds and had by all means earned their victory. At full time, Stokoe, dressed in a mac and fedora, gleefully ran onto the pitch, embracing his players. Bobby Charlton's seemingly daft prediction that Sunderland would win was proven correct. Bobby Kerr climbed the steps and lifted the trophy high, as thousands of Mackems in the stadium cheered in joy. They had performed a miracle, and Stokoe was soon about to bring them more glory. Whilst he failed to get them promoted right away after the cup success, in 1976 Sunderland won the Second Division title to seal a return to the top flight. People were hopeful Stokoe could continue adding to Sunderland's trophy cabinet, but soon the love affair would come to an end. Sunderland struggled upon their return to the top flight, and following a start of 9 games without a win, Stokoe handed in his resignation. It was a sorry end. Whilst he had only been at the club for 4 years, he left the Black Cats with memories to last a lifetime, and he remains the last manager to win a major trophy with Sunderland. He had various managerial spells following his departure, with the likes of Blackpool, Rochdale, and separate spells of Carlisle. However, barring a promotion with Carlisle to Second Division in 1982, he achieved little in these spells. He would end up returning to Sunderland in 1987 as caretaker manager, although he was unable to save them from relegation to the 3rd tier for the first time in their history. His contract was not renewed, and he would retire from management thereafter. He holds a unique feat of having never been sacked by any of the clubs that he managed. Bob Stokoe died on the 1st of February 2004 at the age of 73 from pneumonia, having suffered from Alzheimer's for many years. Such was the respect that he held that his funeral was attended by fans of both Newcastle and Sunderland. It is unlikely there will ever be another man that both clubs admire so much together. A statue of Bob Stokoe was unveiled outside the Stadium of Light in 2006, depicting the image of him running onto the pitch after the legendary 73 final. Bob Stokoe's time at Sunderland may have been short, but he was able to work miracles for the Black Cats and mastermind one of the greatest upsets in the history of the beautiful game.